folks, so I had this weird idea for a gig, to create the ultimate live improvisation setup. Usually, when people play live with modular synthesizers, they pre-patch everything. But I thought, what's the fun in that? It's modular, right? Why not make the actual patching part of the performance? Here, let me show you. Alright, so imagine I'm on stage right now, and my set just started. People are waiting on the dance floor, and I need to get a beat going. So I need a kick drum, a hi-hat, a bass line, and some melodic or texture sounds. That should be enough to cover the basics. I don't have a huge modular rack either, so I need to patch as efficiently as possible. Now the first patch is the most crucial part. You don't want to bore people to death, so you need to start with something interesting. So let's say I start with plats, and I need to think about my outputs as well ahead of time, as I don't want to interrupt the sound in the middle of my set. So if I think backwards for a second, where is my output? I think I'll use this VCA right here. And then I need to work backwards. So let's say I want to use clouds. And I also need a mixer in between because I want to add other sounds later on. So let's start with that. I'll take the output to the input, connect it to a mixer, take the input, connect it to the clouds output, and then finally plats to clouds. But before I do that, let me turn down the level, as you don't want to blow people's ears out. So this is something you need to think about ahead of time. Also about the sound you're using. So plats is a macro oscillator. I think I'll start with the third mode, the red mode. Turn all the knobs counterclockwise. And make sure that clouds is bypassed for now. Now slowly turn up the level. Oh, of course I still need to patch the main output as well. So just connect it to a digitect. Let's turn up the mixer. Okay, something is starting. The lights are dark. And people are waiting to dance. So I can slowly start to morph this random sound into something more interesting. So I can control the knobs by hand, but of course I need to patch other things as well. So to keep my audience from falling asleep, let's add some modulation. I've got an ornaments and crime here, set to a Lorentz curve generator, which is a smooth random voltage generator. Okay, so let's patch that. Let's see which knob is the most interesting to start with. Maybe the FM input. Yeah, maybe the third mode isn't the most interesting to start with. So this is something you don't want to do live. You need to prepare this beforehand. I think mode 2 is a little bit more interesting. So we can modulate the morph as well. Add some delay from clouds. Okay, now we can introduce some other sounds. For example, a hi-hat. So I'm using the digitect right now to send out MIDI information to Yarns, which is set to 4 voice mode. So I've got basically 4 control voltage, volt per octave, and 4 gate outputs. But of course you can use a Beatstep Pro or any other sequencer for this. I just need some triggers in this case. So let me take the second one, send that to the trigger input, and connect that straight to the mixer. Make sure to turn down the level first. Oh, of course I need to press play on the digitect. Now you can see the LEDs. Okay, we've got a hi-hat. In this case I did prepare some triggers on the digitect, so that is something you can of course prepare. I don't really consider that cheating, because you're still patching from scratch. Let me also add some random modulation, a looping envelope. Right, now let's add a kick. So take another trigger output from Yarns. The first one, send that to a mult. Connect the mult output to the gate input. And I also want to add an envelope. So let's add that. Connect the envelope to the pitch modulation input. Obviously I'm doing things a little bit slower to show you what I'm doing. The dance floor would probably empty out by now. Now I need to think about the output. So the kick I'm gonna send through distortion output. So the mini drive from Music Thing Modular. And I'll also attach an high-pass filter. Inputs. And yeah, let's take the output back to the mixer. But in this case, I've only got one input left. So I'm gonna use another mixer. High-pass filter output. Use this one. And connect the output of that mixer to the other mixer. Because I still need to add more stuff. Turn up the level. Okay. Maybe you don't want to start with a 4 on the floor kick, but start with something simpler. Yeah, you can play around with the pitch and the length. The envelope. Remove the low end. Right, now is the time to introduce some notes. So let's go back to plats, and I'm gonna sequence it from the Turing machine. Let me grab some more cables. So I've got a 16 note pulse on track 4 of Yarns. Send that to the clock input. And take the output, turn down the scale first, and connect that to the volt per octave input, which will immediately change the sound. But of course I've still got FM modulation, so it still moves a little bit. Otherwise it will hang on one note. So that's a good idea to smoothen out the transition. But let's also connect a trigger. Take the pulse output. And let's set it to a loop already. Okay. We've got some rhythm. So maybe I want to add some more modulation to clouds. This is where it's really helpful to have multiple modulation options. So for example, this LFO right here, I'll send to the size maybe. Turn up the mix. Let me turn down the FM and turn up the scale on the Turing machine so we get some notes. Now let's see if we can make it a bit more musical. This is probably where I've reached the limit of this modulation option. So I need to make a switch to one of the green modes. So how am I going to do that? I'll probably add some feedback as a transition on clouds. Down the timbre. Okay, not as smooth as I wanted, but it's a start. Change the rhythm on the kick. The hi-hat. Add some more modulation again. Maybe change the frequency. So maybe instead of FM, modulate the timbre. Let's turn back the Turing machine. So to add some more notes. And let's patch another sound, a bass line. And yeah, don't forget to play around with the kick a little bit in the meantime. Some clouds. Okay, so I'm gonna use the Erica Synth bassline, which has a built-in filter and envelope and a VCA, so that's pretty easy. Take output number 3, trigger output, connect that to the gate input, connect the main output straight to the mixer, turn down the level first, and I'll take the pitch output from the voltages from the Turing machine, the expander, the right one. Turn down the scale and the offset. So we start with just one note. Filter is closed. Let's slowly add the mixer. It's really low at the moment. Let's introduce some melody. And if I want, instead of triggering it externally, I can also trigger it from the Turing machine. So the pulses expander. Okay, let's lock this loop. So of course I'm not using a quantizer, so you need to use your ears a little bit to tune it. But it's okay for it to sound a little bit off, especially in techno. Okay, so we've got one note. Let's see if we can change the sound on plats. Add some feedback on clouds. It's all mono right now, by the way, but let's add a high pass filter on the kick. And yeah, now some master effects would be nice, like a reverb or a delay. I don't have that at the moment, but well, I could do it on the Digitech, for example. But of course, I only have two hands, so it's a bit difficult. But let's say I change the kick pattern. I could even mute the pattern if I wanted to. So mute the kick, change the pattern to 4 on the floor. Let's change the pattern, turn down the reverb and turn on the kick. Of course, turn down the high pass filter as well. Bass is gone. Let's add some more triggers on the hi-hat. So maybe some random modulation on the filter of the bassline would be cool as well. But I think I already ran out of LFOs. I could use the Turing machine maybe. Why not? Maybe this one. VCF. But yeah, I think you get the point by now. That's a start. So we went from nothing to this point without interruptions. And now you can just keep building from here. I think it's pretty cool. Oh, I broke it. Need to calibrate it. Cool. I'm curious what you think about this technique. I'm sure I'm not the first to think of this jamming tool. It certainly can't get any more improvisational than this. Definitely try this out on your end. And record your set, listen back and try to find the boring parts. And see how you can improve or speed up the process. Maybe even combine your modular with some other hardware sampler or sequencer, so you at least have a backup when things go south. I really like the Digitact for that. Alright, thanks for watching, let me know if you have any questions and I'll see you all next week with another tutorial.